Imagine a young boy, his heart full of wonder, running to his father in the quiet of the night. This was Yusuf, a boy of innocence and light. "Father," he whispered, his eyes wide, "I saw 11 stars, the sun and the moon, all bowing down to me." His father, the Prophet Yaqub, knew this was no ordinary dream. It was a vision of a divine destiny. He held his son close and warned him gently, "My beloved Yusuf, don't tell your brothers about this dream, or they might plot against you." Yaqub sensed that Allah had chosen Yusuf for greatness, but he also knew that the path to greatness is often paved with trials. Yusuf was handsome and kind, and his father's love for him was clear. But this love planted a bitter seed of jealousy in his brothers' hearts. "Our father loves Yusuf more than all of us," they grumbled amongst themselves. "Let's get rid of him, and then our father's attention will finally be ours." They hatched a plan, not to kill him, but to cast him into a well, hoping some travelers might find him. With deceitful smiles, they convinced their father to let Yusuf join them for a day of play, promising to keep him safe. Yaqub's heart was heavy with worry, but he reluctantly agreed. The very next day, their feigned laughter turned to cold cruelty. They dragged Yusuf to a remote spot, tore his shirt, and ignored his desperate pleas. As they lowered him into the deep, dark well, his small voice echoed, "Allah is with me." That night, they returned to their father, weeping false tears and holding up Yusuf's shirt, now stained with fake blood. "The wolf took him," they cried. But Yaqub, holding the untorn shirt, saw through their lie. With a heavy heart, he said, "Patience is beautiful, and Allah is the one whose help I seek." He knew he could only trust in God's plan. Days turned into a quiet wait in the darkness of the well. Then, a caravan stopped for water. When they pulled up their bucket, they found not just water, but a beautiful young boy. "Good news, a boy," they exclaimed. They took him, hiding him among their goods, unaware of the incredible destiny that awaited him. Arriving in Egypt, they sold him for a handful of silver coins. A high-ranking official, the Aziz of Egypt, bought him. He told his wife, "Treat him well. Perhaps he will be of benefit to us, or we might even adopt him as our son." And so, Yusuf's new life began, no longer a beloved son, but a servant in a foreign land, yet always under the watchful eye of the Almighty. Years passed, and Yusuf grew into a man of exceptional beauty, wisdom, and character. The wife of the Aziz, Zulika, became utterly captivated by him. One day, she cornered him, locking the doors and demanding he come to her. Yusuf's heart pounded, not with temptation, but with fear of Allah. "I seek refuge in Allah," he declared. "My master has been good to me. Wrongdoers never succeed." He turned to run, but she lunged after him, tearing his shirt from behind just as her husband, the Aziz, walked in. "What's the punishment?" she cried. "For one who intended evil toward your wife." Yusuf calmly explained, "It was she who tried to seduce me." A witness wisely advised, "If his shirt is torn from the front, she's telling the truth. If it's from the back, he is." Seeing the tear on the back, the Aziz knew the truth, but the gossip spread like wildfire. To silence the whispers, Zulika hosted a banquet for the city's noblewomen. She gave each a knife to cut fruit, then called for Yusuf. The women were so stunned by his presence that they accidentally cut their own hands, gasping, "This is no man, this is a noble angel." Zulika then confessed, "This is the one you blamed me for. If he refuses me again, he will be imprisoned." Faced with this impossible choice, Yusuf prayed, "My Lord, prison is better to me than what they call me to." Allah answered his prayer, and he was sent to prison, entering it not with despair, but with a heart at peace. In prison, Yusuf's noble character shone. He soon met 2 other inmates, the king's former cupbearer and his baker. They both had strange dreams and, seeing Yusuf's righteousness, asked him for their meanings. One dreamt he was pressing wine, the other, that birds were eating bread from his head. Yusuf, using the knowledge given to him by Allah, explained that the cupbearer would be freed and serve the king again, while the baker would be executed. Before the cupbearer left, Yusuf asked him, "Please, mention me to your king." But once freed, the man forgot. And so, Yusuf remained in prison for several more years, his faith never once wavering. One night, the king of Egypt himself had a perplexing dream, 7 fat cows being devoured by 7 lean ones, and 7 green ears of corn being replaced by 7 dry ones. None of his advisors could interpret it. Suddenly, the cupbearer remembered Yusuf. He rushed to the prison, and Yusuf, without hesitation, explained the dream. "You will have 7 years of great harvest," he said. "Store the grain wisely, because after that will come 7 years of severe famine. Then, a year of relief will follow." The king was astounded by his wisdom. "Bring him to me," he commanded, but Yusuf refused to leave until his name was cleared. The king summoned the women, and Zulika finally confessed everything. "Now the truth is clear," she said. "It was I who tried to seduce him. He is truly one of the truthful." Yusuf's innocence was proven. The king, deeply impressed, appointed him as the treasurer of Egypt, saying, "Today, you are with us, secure and trusted." From a prisoner to a powerful minister, Yusuf's patience had been rewarded. Years later, The famine Yusuf had predicted swept across the land, reaching all the way to Canaan, where his family lived. Driven by hunger, Yusuf's brothers traveled to Egypt for grain. They stood before the powerful governor, never recognizing him as the brother they had abandoned years ago. But Yusuf recognized them instantly. He gave them their supplies and devised a plan. "Next time you come," he instructed, "bring your youngest brother with you." They returned home and, after much convincing, persuaded their father to let their youngest brother, Binyamin, go with them. On their next trip, through a clever plan from Allah, Yusuf was able to keep Binyamin with him. The brothers were devastated, finally feeling the weight of their past sins. When the famine worsened, they returned to Yusuf one last time, broken and desperate. Seeing their remorse, Yusuf could no longer hold back. With tears in his eyes, he asked, "Do you remember what you did to Yusuf and his brother when you were ignorant?" They stared in shock. Are you Yusuf?" They stammered. He smiled gently. "I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. Allah has been gracious to us." Overcome with shame, they begged for forgiveness. Yusuf replied with pure grace, "There is no blame on you today. May Allah forgive you." He sent his shirt back with them to his father. When the elderly Yaqub, whose eyes had been blinded by years of grief, touched the shirt to his face, his sight was miraculously restored. The entire family was reunited in Egypt. As they entered the palace, Yusuf raised his parents to the throne, and his brothers bowed before him, fulfilling the dream from his childhood. "Oh my father," Yusuf said softly, "this is the interpretation of my dream. My Lord has made it a reality." The story of Prophet Yusuf is a timeless lesson in faith, patience, and forgiveness. He was betrayed by his own family, sold into slavery, and wrongfully imprisoned. Yet through every trial, his trust in Allah never faltered. And when he was granted power, he chose mercy over revenge. His incredible journey teaches us that even in our darkest moments, in the bottom of our own wells, Allah's plan is unfolding. It shows us that true strength lies not in holding grudges, but in the power of forgiveness, and that patience is always rewarded. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful journey. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that inspires the soul. We'll see you in the next video.